Up in time, Clark for the win! Yeah!
And this is why Caitlin Clark will go down as one of the best to ever play the game.
LeBron didn't face this much hate when he entered the league, neither did Kevin Durant, not even Ben Simmons for all his drama. But somehow, a 22-year-old woman who's done nothing but play hard, stay humble, and break records has become the most targeted rookie in basketball history. Caitlin Clark didn't start any fights. She didn't jump to a super team or talk trash in interviews. Yet from the moment she stepped on the WNBA court, it seemed like the whole world had something to say. And most of it wasn't good. Legends turned into critics, teammates became skeptics, and social media a battlefield. But here's the twist. Instead of clapping back, Caitlin Clark did something far more dangerous. She let her game do the talking, and what happened next completely flipped the narrative. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly how she humiliated her loudest haters without saying a single word. Most players have to do something to get hated. LeBron made the decision. KD joined a 73-win team. Ben Simmons, well, he stopped showing up. Even the NBA's most disliked players had a reason behind the criticism. But Caitlin Clark, she didn't betray a team. She didn't fake injuries. She didn't even say anything controversial. She just showed up, worked harder than anyone, and played lights-out basketball.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you know, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. I'm taking Paige. Next question.
So if you had the #1 pick this year, you would take Paige over Caitlin?
Absolutely.
So why did the hate come anyway? She's the WNBA's top rookie, breaking attendance records, selling out arenas, and bringing more eyeballs to women's basketball than ever before. She doesn't gloat, she doesn't trash talk, she's never thrown a teammate under the bus. By every standard, stats, character, impact, she's a dream for the league. But instead of celebration, she's been met with doubt, people questioning her toughness, gatekeepers minimizing her skills, critics trying to rewrite her story before it even begins. It's almost as if her greatness disrupted something deeper, something no one wants to say out loud. Because when you shine too bright, you don't just get attention, you attract enemies. And one of the first to speak up, shockingly, was someone she once looked up to. Before Caitlin Clark ever played a WNBA game, one of the sport's most iconic names had already drawn a line in the sand. Diana Taurasi, the legend, the vet, the face of the league for years, didn't welcome Caitlin with open arms. Instead, she fired off a warning shot that echoed across the entire sports world. In a now infamous interview, Taurasi said Caitlin was in for a harsh reality check. That dominating college kids wasn't the same as facing grown women in the pros. There's levels to this, she said. You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but now you're gonna come up against professionals who've done this for years.
Honestly, like, she was probably one of the first women's basketball players I really grew up idolizing.
It felt less like advice and more like a dare, but she didn't stop there. When asked who she'd pick first in the 2024 WNBA draft, Diana didn't hesitate, and she didn't say Caitlin. "I'm taking Paige," she said, referring to Paige Buchers, who wasn't even eligible for the draft. And just like that, a future Hall of Famer publicly snubbed the league's brightest young star. Let's be clear, Paige is a phenomenal player, but the numbers don't lie. Caitlin led the NCAA in assists for 3 straight seasons, averaging more than 8 per game, nearly double Paige's average. And yet, Taurasi claimed Paige was the better passer, the better player, and the most heartbreaking part? Caitlin idolized her. She was probably one of the first women's players I ever looked up to, Caitlin once said, but Taurasi never reached out. No text, no call, not even a whisper of encouragement. When asked if any vets gave her advice during the season, Caitlin replied, "Nobody gives me advice." But here's the twist. Caitlin didn't respond with words. She waited for the games, and when they finally faced off, the scoreboard spoke louder than any mic ever could. If Taurasi's criticism came with legacy weight, Lexi Brown's felt more like insecurity in disguise. During an episode of Gil's Arena, Brown took aim at Caitlin Clark's game and missed badly.
Who plays like Caitlin's what I'm saying from a female? Who do you think plays like her? Haven't seen a female play like her.
No, me either.
That's all I'm saying.
But I think it's like from a freedom standpoint too. I haven't seen a player with that type of green light before in college. I've had games in college and pro, 6, 7, 8 threes made out of 12. 11, 13, not 20.
She brushed off Caitlyn's skill set as nothing special, claimed all Caitlyn did was shoot threes, even suggested she herself could do what Caitlyn does. If she had the same freedom on the court, you could hear the tension, not analysis, but shade wrapped in frustration. But here's the part Lexi conveniently left out. Caitlyn wasn't just a scorer, she was the NCAA assist leader for 3 straight years, and now leads the WNBA in assists too, averaging over 8 per game. That's not just good, that's elite. And as for being just a shooter, let's look at the scoreboard. In 2 head-to-head matchups between Clark and Brown, it wasn't even close. Caitlyn dropped 41 points, Lexi had 8. Caitlyn had 14 assists, Lexi had 4. Caitlyn out-rebounded her, out-blocked her, out-stole her, and outshot her with a 13-point higher field goal percentage. That's not a rivalry, that's a mismatch. And through all of it, Caitlyn never fired back. No tweets, no podcasts, no passive-aggressive jabs. She just dominated and walked off the court like it was just another day at the office. But this wasn't the last time Caitlyn would be underestimated or excluded and from something much bigger. If you thought the hate was limited to players and social media, think again, because even Team USA, the crown jewel of international basketball, turned its back on Caitlin Clark.
Indiana, shot clock at 14. Clark, step back, hits a 3.
When the roster for the 2024 Olympic team was announced, fans were shocked to find one glaring omission. No Caitlin Clark, the most talked about player in women's basketball. The rookie transforming ticket sales, viewership, and momentum, wasn't even invited. The selection committee claimed it came down to criteria, a vague, safe answer that only made things worse. Because if criteria didn't include the second best player in the MVP race, what exactly were they measuring? Caitlin currently sits right between Aja Wilson and Nafisa Collier in the league's MVP rankings. That's not a fluke. That's a testament to just how dominant she's been. And remember, she didn't walk into a championship roster. She joined a struggling Indiana Fever team and, almost single-handedly, turned them into playoff contenders. Since June, the Fever have had one of the best records in the league. Their offense revolves around her, their wins depend on her. She's not just good, she's essential. So leaving her off Team USA, that wasn't strategy, that was politics, gatekeeping, a message that said, you're not one of us yet. But Caitlin's response was, once again, silence. No complaining, no cryptic tweets, just more buckets, more assists, and more wins. And while Team USA was making excuses, another old rivalry was about to reignite, and this one got personal. If there's one rivalry that has captured the spotlight since college, it's Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. What started as a fiery showdown in the 2023 NCAA Championship has followed them into the WNBA. Only now, it's gotten more personal. From the moment they both turned pro, Angel seemed to carry a chip on her shoulder. She wasn't just competing against Caitlin, she was actively trying to embarrass her. Angel made headlines early by smacking Caitlin on the head during a game. Then she hyped up teammates who delivered hard fouls on her. At All-Star Weekend, she took it even further. After Caitlin missed a half-court shot, Angel immediately launched her own, nailed it, then celebrated with the entire team. Everyone except Caitlin. Over and over, she made it clear this wasn't just a rivalry, this was personal, but Caitlin never reacted. No Twitter jabs, no side eyes in press conferences, not even a shrug. She responded the only way she knows how, by showing up and dominating. When the Indiana Fever faced Angel Reese's Chicago Sky, Caitlin didn't just play well, like she took over. Across their 4 matchups, the Fever won 3. But the final game, that one was a message. With the Rookie of the Year race heating up and all eyes on them, Caitlin put on a masterclass. She dropped 31 points and 13 assists before exiting the game with nearly 4 minutes left. Her team up by 27. Angel, on the other hand, had just 5 points at that same point. And instead of focusing on the team, she spent the final minutes chasing rebounds to secure a double-double. What fans quickly labeled as stat padding. Social media exploded. Critics called out her priorities. Others said she looked desperate. The contrast was undeniable. While Angel was grinding for individual numbers, Caitlin was already dancing on the bench, sipping Gatorade and watching her team cruise to victory. That game didn't just widen the gap between them, it exposed it. Caitlin proved that while Angel was playing to compete, she was playing to lead. And in the biggest moments, she didn't just outscore her rivals, she outclassed them. You'd expect criticism to come from rival players or bitter fans. But when a legend like Sheryl Swoopes, one of the most respected names in WNBA history, jumps in to tear down a rookie, it hits different, and not in a good way. During an episode of Gil's Arena, Swoopes took direct shots at Caitlin Clark. She questioned her legitimacy as a college scorer.
She's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Like, you should be killing them. Yeah. Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay. Claiming Caitlin was a 25-year-old playing against younger girls, which was simply false. Caitlin was 22 at the time, competing against players her own age. Then came another wild exaggeration. Swoopes said Caitlin was taking 40 shots per game to break records. Again, wrong. Caitlin averaged just 22.7 shots per game. The facts weren't just off, they were miles off. But Swoopes wasn't done. She called Caitlin's scoring record illegitimate, and then went on to praise nearly every other Indiana Fever player, without even mentioning Caitlin's name. It was like talking about the 2017 Warriors and leaving out Steph Curry. The disrespect wasn't subtle, it was loud and intentional. And how did Caitlin respond? She didn't. Not a single word. No social media digs. No post-game shade. She stayed silent and let Swoopes unravel on her own. Because while Caitlin was busy leading the league in assists and carrying a rebuilding franchise into playoff territory, Sheryl Swoopes was lighting matches under her own reputation. The backlash came fast. Fans slammed her on social media. Fellow analysts questioned her motives. Even Stephen A. Smith got involved, sparking a public feud that further dragged Swoopes into controversy. Things got so messy that when the Fever played the Dallas Wings, the very team Swoopes works for as a broadcaster, the network pulled her off the broadcast entirely. It was damage control, too much drama, too much bias, and all of it self-inflicted. What made it even more ironic, in a desperate move, Swoopes ended up sharing private screenshots of a conversation with Caitlin.
She sat up there and was applauding Indiana Fever players, but then forgot to mention Caitlin Clark.
As if trying to prove some kind of point, but by then, the damage was done. While Caitlin stayed focused on the game, Sheryl kept swinging and missing. In a league full of noise, Caitlin Clark has mastered the power of silence. No matter how loud the criticism got, from Diana Taurasi's shade to Lexi Brown's dismissals to Team USA's snub and Sheryl Swoopes' unraveling, Caitlin never took the bait. No angry interviews, no social media spats, no desperate need to defend herself. Instead, she did something far more powerful. She let her game speak, and every time someone came at her, she answered in the only language that matters: points, assists, wins, and poise. Against Taurasi, a clean sweep and multiple double-doubles. Against Lexi, a statistical beatdown that left no room for debate. Against Team USA, she responded by rising in the MVP ladder and carrying a bottom-tier team into playoff contention. Against Angel Reese, a blowout win, a highlight reel, and a Rookie of the Year statement. Against Sheryl Swoopes, she didn't have to lift a finger. The internet did it for her. What makes Caitlin dangerous isn't just her shooting range or vision on the court, it's her ability to tune out the noise and keep winning. She's not playing the petty game, she's playing the long game, and she's winning it. The truth is, most players would have cracked under this kind of spotlight. The hate, the pressure, the weight of expectations. But Caitlin, she's turned it all into fuel. With every jab, every dismissal, every headline questioning her place in the league, she's gotten better, sharper, colder, more focused. She's not just surviving the hate, she's thriving in it. Every step of Caitlin Clark's rookie journey has been met with resistance. Not because she's done anything wrong, but because she's done everything right. She's played with heart, stayed humble, shattered records, and brought millions of new eyes to the game. And yet, for all her impact, the response from many inside the league hasn't been celebration. It's been resentment. Diana Taurasi tried to downplay her. Lexi Brown tried to diminish her. Team USA left her behind. Angel Reese tried to overshadow her. Sheryl Swoopes tried to erase her. But none of it worked, because Caitlin didn't need to fire back. She just kept showing up, putting up numbers, and taking over games. That's what separates her. The best don't always scream the loudest. Sometimes they just smile, stay silent, and bury you with results. Caitlin Clark has shown the world that you don't have to argue to prove your worth. You don't have to tweet to clap back. You don't even have to respond at all. Well, not when your actions do the talking. And the scariest part? She's just getting started.